Hi, good morning. And this is the second part of Chapter 2, the Strategic Human Resource Planning. We have already discussed the strategies, the elements, and we are now going to the second part, which we will be talking about forecasting and common weaknesses in human resource planning. So, there are six common weaknesses in over planning. Number one, I mean in human resource planning. Number one is over planning. When we say over planning, so daghan kay kagi consider no. As we've discussed before, when we do strategic planning, we have to be in line with the organization's objectives and goals. So if the company's objective is to stay in the business as a kay kanya-kanya man na naman ang companies man are murag gi-associate nato, like for example Apple ato siyang gi-associate sa kanang nasa high standard, innovative siya, or Red Bull or kanang mga soft drinks like Coke. They are not innovative companies, but they are na sila'y brand, na sila'y name, nakadepende sila sa ilang name. So if you are a company that wants to stay in the business because you are an innovative company, so your plans will be geared towards being innovative. So if you are planning and you are over planning, tanan na lang i-consider nimo na naka innovative, magkuan pa jud ka to maintain your brand, magkuan pa jud ka to be the cheapest product in the market. No, you will not go somewhere. Dili ka makaabot sa imong padulngan because you are over planning. That's one of the weaknesses. The second weakness is the technique overload. So the same with over planning, technique overload. Di ba natin mga gidiscuss nga techniques? Then imong gigamit tanan siya. So that is going to cause an overload in the technique because dili na sila mag-match or dili na ka malibog na ka. So daghan kay kag padulngan. Third is the bias for the quantitative. So pag may tag quantitative, kadaghanon. Naka-focus lang ka sa quantity and gi-disregard nimo ang quality. So that is going to be your weakness. Fourth is the isolation of the planners. This happens if, for example, ang human resource management is being neglected by the top management. So naamag yung mga scenario nga, for example, ang imong company nag-hire og bata nga human resource manager nga from outside. Wala ka nag internal hiring. So sa outside ka nagkuha og human resource manager. Then pag sulod niya, of course naamang yun ay mga manager nga iyang maabtan, no, mga senior nga mga manager, and then wala sila support kintahay, so dili sila motuo. Unless ang top management ang moingon nga sundan ni ninyo, or kinahang na magkuan pa siya memo to provide this information or to cooperate with the human resource manager. Pag wala ing ana, ma-isolate ang human resource management, no? Dili siya maka implement sa iyang mga programs because the top management has low regard for the human resource management. Therefore, iyang i-ignore ang mga plan. And that will cause an effect, a domino effect, because ang top management gani wala. So unsa ang una-una sa mga managers, ang president gani or ang mga vice presidents wala, gi-ignore gani siya. So i-ignore po nato siya kay wala man dai siya ipulos. Maging ana siya nga dating. Na-isolate ang planner. The fifth weakness is the isolation from the organization of the objective. So again, the plan should be in line with the organization's objectives. So if you are going to formulate plans, it should be in line. So para dili siya ma-derail ang imong mga plano. The sixth weakness is the lack of line supervisors input. It is very important nga makakuha kag input from the line supervisors because they are the ones nga nakahibalo, nakaila sa mga employees, 'di ba? Sila ang naay direct contact. You as a human resource manager, dili man ka uh, wala man kay direct contact sa ilaha actually. It's their supervisors who has direct contact to them. So therefore, it is important that you will get the input from them. So unsa man ang mga input, like unsa ilang skills, feedback sa ilang attitude, etc. So kung wala na siya, your human resource planning is weak, right? And kung wala ng input sa line supervisors, you will not be able to forecast sa manpower, because manpower forecasting is very important. And there are four basic terms in forecasting manpower. The first basic term is the long-term trend. Pag mingon tag long-term trend, mao ni siyang ginahimo for a period of 5 years or more, no? At least 5 years. Dili siya pang ugma, pang next week, pang 1 month. Ang imong ginatlantaw ini is 5 years. The second term is the cyclical variations. Pag cyclical, meaning cycle. Sa isa ka life cycle kintahay. So, mas shorter term ni siya sa 1 year cycle. Unsa man ang mga posible nimong kinahanglanon. Like for example, in 1 year, daghan kay tag pwedeng ko ano na nga. ah, sa first quarter, dili pa kaayo ta kinahanglan og employees. Manginahanglan ra tag employees by the second part of the second quarter up to the fourth quarter na. So inga na siya, cycle. Imong tan-awon og unsay trend from on the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter and fourth quarter of the year. The next term is the seasonal variations. So mingon tag seasonal by season, like Christmas season, Valentine season, graduation seasons, kanang mga Holy Week, may nga na siya nga seasons, di ba? So tanaw nimo ang needs nimo in particular seasons, no? Dili ka pwedeng actually mga month daw og mga October mao na gitawag sa mga Tagalog nga sabitang palakol, meaning murag stale ang tanan, walay hiring, murag lisod kay kinabuhi mga pagbandang October, mag-peak ra na siya adto na sa bandang Christmas na, no, pagpunta na sa Christmas. So imo nang tan-awon kung kanus ka dapat mag-hire og people, kanus ani mo kinahanglan og daghan people, kanus ani mo kinahanglan og mag-restrict sa imong hiring, kanus ani mo kinahanglan mag-lay off based on the seasons. Then the fourth one is kini ang lisod, because this is random variations, meaning there is no special pattern, and it's quite difficult to predict or determine. So dapat ready ka ana to know. HR practitioner must be careful in manpower forecasting, especially in hiring of employees during random kan kanang wa kahibalo unsay mahitabo. Like for example, COVID-19, it was not in the calendar, di ba? Wala man predict na mahitabong COVID-19. It happened. So, mo nang naidaghan companies nga nag-lay off because wala ni nila napangandaman. No, but there are also companies nga nag-retain silang people by unsa ilang gibuhat, they shifted. No, naka-adjust dayon sila because they have a strong forecasting. They have a strong human resource management who was able to shift dayon ug unsa ilang line of production. Okay? So, mo na siya. And then, we are going to discuss the forecasting techniques. Kung naatay strategic human resource planning techniques, na po the human resource forecasting techniques. So, there are four techniques that we will discuss. The first one is the zero-based forecasting approach. So in this approach, you are going to start from your current level. No, ang imong reference point is the current level nga employment. So i-forecast nimo at this level next year unsa ka ha, and the following year and the following year and so on. The second technique is the bottom-up approach, meaning you are going to use the progression upward method from the lower organization unit. So dito ka sa magsugod sa mga pinunsa kung sa Philippines na ang basic unit is the barangay or the family and then the barangay, sa company na apo na siya like the team and then the uh, siguro division and then branch, no, ana departments, etc. So you are going to start from the bottom up. The third The third technique is the use of predictor variables. So na mga variables na imong tan-awon to predict. Um, let's say for example, sales volume, no? Pwede nimo nang gamiton nga variable to predict. So sales volume meaning unsa kadaghan ang imong sales, kanus-a na ay daghan nga sales, so that you will know kanus-a ka mag-put up mag-hire og daghan tao, because by that time gi-predict na nimo nga mutaas ang demand, so we have to produce more, so we have to have more people to produce more ana siya. So you are using predictor variables. Next is the last one is the simulation. It is a technique nga nagamit ka og mga testing nimo ang mga alternatives, no? Using mathematical models representing the real world simulation, right? So like let's say for example, if you are a restaurant, um, Valentine season, no? February kintahay. So you are going to simulate, let's say for example, um, pila ka buok ang imong tables, pila ka buok ang customer nga expected. So sa customer, kapila sila dapat, kapila sila mo order og food, kapila sila mo order og drinks, and then kapila ka mag-serve. So makuha na nimo na in an 8-hour shift, makuha na nimo og pila ka buok ang kinahanglan nimong tao given that these are the number of expected customers. So makompute nimo. That's what we call simulation. Nagtesting ka. Okay, so in the forecasting or human resource planning, we are also considering important elements. So natay mga important elements in forecasting and strategic human resource planning. And these are the following. One is the organizational goals. So you have to consider, or you have to always consider the organizational goals, because if if you are going to plan and it does not it it does not meet, or it does not support the organizational goals, then it's nothing, no? Walay mahitabo sa imo. So you have to, it has to be founded on solid foundations of information like sales forecast, market trends, technological advances, and major changes in processes and productivity. The second element that you are going to consider is the human resource forecast. So this should be based sa business strategies, sa production plan sa company, and the various indicators of change in technology and the organization's operating method. Right? So the human resource management should work hand in hand with the top management, so that you will know unsa man tong mga changes, if there are any changes in organization's operating method. This one should result in being able to create a spreadsheet or a database of employees in terms of of the number of employees, the mix, male, female, cost, the new skills nga kinahanglan, ang job categories nga imong kinahanglan, and the numbers and levels of managers needed. No? So pila ka manager imong kinahanglan for a certain number of employees. The third element is the employee information. So this element is actually it involves planning process, no, and maintaining accurate information that concerns the position, the assignments, capabilities of the current workforce, imong employees, and it may include job classification, age, the gender, the status, the organizational level, the rate of pay, and their functions. So that is very important for decision making. You have to keep this employee information. The fourth element is the human resource availability projections. So in this element, you are estimating the number of current employees that and those that could be available in the future, right? Because in the company naaman yun ay mga mag-resign, na ay mga mag-retire, na ay mga ma-lay off, na, no? So you have to be estimating kung pila ang next year, pila na lang ka ang employees nga ang current karon nga employees, pila na lang ka sa ilaha ang mabilin next year, so that you will know pila ka buok ang imong i-hire towards the end of the year so that before next year nga nabawasan sila na ana kay ikasalpak, na ana kay ikapuli. Right? Next element is the analyzing and evaluation of human resources gaps. So unsa man tong you are going to compare na kung unsa imong kinahanglan and what is available. So in terms of pila ka employees, ang mix niya ang skills and ang technologies. So in this analysis, you should be able to help the management to address the following issues. So, are there imbalances ba in developing between projected human resources needs and availability? So, naa ba imbalances or balance lang? Sakto ba ang imong human resources karon or ang imong kinahanglan nga human resource sa available nimo or dili siya balance? What is the effect of current productivity trends and pay rates on the workforce levels and cost? So, dapat makita na ni nimo and then ma-address na nimo, no? Kung sobra ba ang atong ginabayad kaysa sa atong gikita. Okay? Do turnover problems exist in certain jobs or age levels? So, asa nag-exist ang mga turnover? Sa ilabang trabaho, based sa kabug-aton sa ilang trabaho, or based sa ilang edad? Are there problems of career blockage and obsolescence? So naabay naka-block sa career development nila or na-obsolete na ba ang ilang kini nga skill, no? Kini nga skill. So you have to know that. Are there sufficient high potential managers to fill future needs? So kung naabatay ikapuli next year if mag-resign na mag-retire na i-lay off naabatay ika suplagar. Is there a shortage of any critical skills? No, makita na nimo the analysis that you did sa pag-evaluate nimo sa human resource gaps nimo should be able to answer these issues. All right, so the last part. So after all that we did, the strategy evaluation and control is the final component sa strategic management process. So in this part, you are actually um, you will be doing evaluation. You will be um, kanang unsa pa na siya. You are going to be able to tell kung nag-work ba ang imong effective ba ang imong strategies, ang imong plan. Right? So in order for you to know your situation, you will be able to create a competitive advantage. Mo na yung competitive advantage. Meaning, between two companies, let's say for example, Coke and Pepsi, you have to determine what is if you are Coke, unsay imong competitive advantage again versus Pepsi, di ba? So you have to know. And in order for you to know your competitive advantage, there are two important resource nga imong kuhaan. Right? So, what is your role in providing competitive advantage? There are two. One is the emergent strategies, and the second is the intended strategies. So, emergent strategies meaning uh, it consists of strategies that evolve from the grassroots of the organization. Pag mingon ta grassroots, from the lower level, meaning kadtong mga managers nato sa lower level, they are the ones who are able to collect feedback, data, no? Sila po itong makakollect og mga ideas for new markets, ideas for new products, new strategies, because they are in the front line. No? Sila ang makakita gud ana. Therefore, you have to collect them in order for you to um, make sound decision making, no? So you have to systematically arrange them. The second is the intended strategies. Intended strategies, this is a pattern of plans that integrates an organization's major goals, policies, and action sequences into a cohesive whole. So, pag intended strategies ni imo na ng ang top management yang gitahi-tahi ang iyang mga goals niya, policies, and action sequences, right? So that you will be able to formulate a human resource systems, because it's important that you have a system. Dili pwede nang wala kay system, because it will be disorganized. So human resource information system is very important. This is a this is an organized approach in obtaining relevant and timely information nga imong gamiton sa paghimog mga decisions. So an effective human resource information system is very crucial, very important sa paghimo og mga decision making. And the for this to be effective, for the human resource information system to be effective, it should be smart. SMART. And let's take a look and how what does SMART stands for. So SMART, S stands for systematic, meaning the information must be systematically arranged and contain the needed data. So it should be organized para dali ra nimo ma-pull ang data, dali ra nimo ma-analyze. M stands for management oriented. Management oriented meaning the data and information are essential tools for effective manpower planning, retention, development, and separation of employees. A stands for applicable. So data should be applicable. Dili siya I mean you don't keep data that you cannot use, 'di ba? So it should be applicable in making human resource decisions. Letter R stands for result oriented. The results from the information and the decisions derived thereat must be both acceptable to management and the employees concerned, right? So it should be acceptable, because if not, then bisag naa pa kay plan, napakadahay report nga gihimo but it's not acceptable, then it's useless. T stands for time bound. Relevant information are necessary to make this is timely decision making, because if your decisions are not timely, then maulahi ka permi, right? So let's say for example your company plans to expand, then expansion meaning you have to hire new people, you have to hire new managers, no? But uh hibalo ka na next year na but now wala kay gihimo, di ba? You did not decide yet kung pila ka book imong i-hire, pila ka manager, and then you only decided nga nag-open na. It's kuha na, it's too late. No, it's not timely, it's not effective anymore. So the absence of these five, the SMART, or systematic, management oriented, applicable, result oriented, time bound, the absence of these can actually reduce the effectiveness sa imong human resource information system, and it will complicate the decision making process. Okay, but if you have all these the five characteristic of your human resource information system, then you will be able to you have accuracy in your decision making process, no? So an effective human resource information system can also produce and forecast several important reports related to business orientations. So what are the reports that are required, that you need using the human resource information system? And there are four that we have identified. And these are the fours: the routine reports, exception reports, on-demand reports, manpower forecast. So routine reports, meaning these are the kanabitong normal, automatic ka maghimog report ani. Kay mo man yung mga report that includes kanang list of your employee, kinsay mga regular, pila ka buok ang contractual, pila ang supervisors, pila ang managers, etc. So those are routinary reports. Exception reports mo ni mga reports nga kanang it will contain confidential data kana ng report that can be used for expansion or for um, kanang pagtanggal og mga tao, ano na siya, right? On-demand reports, so management kanini mga reports nga gina-demand sa management, like for example productivity index, individual performance, and information that may lead to downsizing and other personnel actions. Manpower forecast, This applies predictive models based on specific situations which may cover increase or decrease in manpower requirements due to seasonal demand or increase in customer orders. No, so money manpower forecast kana bitong by kato atong gidiscuss ganina season, cyclical variation. So makita man na nimo that this season kailangan lang nimo og daghang tao. So after ani nga season, balik ka sa normal, then paghandaan na pud nimo ang next season. Okay, so that's manpower forecast. And this human resource information system should be applied in your, you should be able to have a software for this, no? The software application for human resource management. So the software for human resource management can function as follows. So it can function as a staffing application. Pag mingon tag staffing application, it will include applicant recruiting and tracking, uh, DOLE reporting requirements. DOLE stands for Department of Labor and Employment. They do require reports from companies or corporations. So you will be able to get that from your HRIS. It may include developing a master employee database or the staffing applications for decision making. Second function of your software is human resource planning and applications, which means that you should be able to get the workforce profile analysis. So makita nimo diha ang supply and demand of the labor force. Second, you should see the workforce dynamic analysis. Makita nimo diri ang number of new hires, pila ka ba ang mga na-transfers or na-promote, and pila ka ba ang number nga needed for future job openings. Makita po nimo diri ang human resource planning for decision making. Okay, this application will include information about the employees who are about to retire, job classification of employees for promotions, and the departments that lack basic skills for the job. Okay, makita nimo diha. You will be able to use it for human resource planning. And then performance management application. So performance management application, makita nimo diri ang employee performance ratings, mga disciplinary actions nga nahatag, work rule violations, and the daily productivity index. No, may store na nimo. Next is the training and development applications. So training and development applications, makita dapat nimo diha ang magamit nimo for to track down the need for employees training programs, mga courses to attend, certified skills, mga educational qualifications, right? Career application assessment, mga career interest nila, mga work values and career goals. So diha nimo makita. Compensation and benefits applications, diha nimo makita ang payroll, ang job evaluation, salary survey, salary planning and analysis, executive compensation planning, and management benefits. Okay? So, pag mingon tag executive compensation planning, kana bitong mga executive sa company, unsa ang gi-provide sa ilaha, like car, na ba sila pa-car ba sila, na ba sila house, na ba sila insurance, na ba sila life or health insurance, etc. And management benefits, so unsay mga benefits nga ilang madawat. Okay, so those are very important in forecasting. So you have to have a software that could function as this that we have enumerated. So if you have questions, you know where to post them. So the next time that we are going, the next video that I'm going to give you will be on the third chapter, which is already on human resource recruitment. Right? So feel free to post your questions and have a nice day.